Hey everybody, it's Angela, and I am back with another installment of my COVID journal that I'm making. Here is just an article I inserted about farmers dumping milk. I'm trying to put articles scattered within this notebook, kind of drawing attention to some of the major topics going on. And today I'm going to focus on one 2-page layout because it's somewhat involved. And I'm going to talk about all the cooking that I'm having to do. First of all, since of course, we can't eat out at restaurants and we're too far out to have any kind of takeout or anything like that. So I've got to make our food, morning, noon, and night. And we're working. My husband's doing a lot of physical activity. And so, he needs to eat well. And then the other part is we pretty much make everything from scratch. I don't have too many things that I get to make from a box or a frozen thing, or any kind of processed kit or anything like that. So it's a little more involved for me. It takes a lot more time because I mill all our flour and make most of our pasta. Sometimes I will use prepackaged pasta, but usually I'm making our pasta, I'm making our tortillas, I'm making our biscuits, our pie crusts, our breads, our everything. So I feel like a restaurant, and it takes a lot of time, so it is like another full-time job. It's a big part of what I'm doing every day, along with my day job that I do remotely, and then, working on the farm and milling flour and stuff. It takes a lot of time. And so I just wanted to do a spread called Angela's Restaurant. And if I would have thought ahead, I would have put Angela's Right Justified and put in front of that, I would have handwritten like, you can get anything you want at Angela's Restaurant. Even though my name isn't Alice, I don't know how many of you will get that reference of Alice's Restaurant, but maybe someone out there will. Tell me if you know what I'm talking about. So anyhow, I wanted to do my titling and then make a bunch of waterfall pages since I have so many food pics. And so I just took thin one-sided paper, cut it down, and then scored it, as you see here. And I'm just going to put these down with some score tape. It's a little bit of a tight fit because I scored it at a 1/2 inch and this score tape is a 1/2 inch. So I have to try to be pretty precise on, how I put this down. So I'm being somewhat careful. And that's just for ease and quickness of being able to put this down. I could have used wet glue or tape runner or anything like that and would have worked just fine as well. So I'm going to go ahead and put my title block down, and at the end I do wind up outlining the word Angela's just so it stands out a little more. And then I'm going to fold these on the score line and make sure they fold up okay. And I'm going to do both pages with waterfall, and that's why I use this kind of really thin, this is mostly Heidi Swap paper, a really thin one-sided paper, because if I used a thicker two-sided, double-sided cardstock, I think that this would have wound up getting way too bulky, and I already have a lot of stuff going on in this journal, so I'm trying to stick with like flat alpha stickers. I think I've only one time have I put foam thickers in here. And everything else has been pretty flat, so just kind of thinking about how much bulk this binder is going to get by the time I'm finished here. And I've fallen way far behind. I think I'm still in April, and we're already finishing up May, so I don't know. I'm going to try to do May and June. I think that's all the tabs I have in this binder, so that's what I'm going to try to do. You can see I just kind of butted one page up to the next until they filled up the page. And then I printed out some food pics, and I tried to just get one of each type of dish. Like, I've made spaghetti a couple times, but I've only put one picture of it in here, or like pizza I've done a couple times. And so I tried to kind of make it just like a one-off picture. And I'll have room to grow because I don't have enough pictures to fill up both pages, but I have enough room to grow. Now on the pizza, like I said, I mill our own flour. I make the pizza dough. and like these pancakes, I milled the flours. The strawberries were from the garden. And then we had some scrambled eggs with it that I get our eggs from a neighbor. That nacho plate there on the left is our own peppers, onions, beans. This, is our own potatoes out of our root cellar, and some meat that I had previously frozen. I baked bread with our flour. So, when you're making all this kind of stuff, it takes a lot of time. Here's some spaghetti. Now that one I did use prepackaged pasta, but the sauce is all stuff I had made and canned. And these were scalloped potatoes. My husband loves scalloped potatoes. And it was our potatoes and onions. I have to buy all of our dairy products like the cheese and milk. And then our meat products I usually buy from, that's chili and biscuits. No, that's vegetable beef soup and biscuits in that picture I just put on there. But yeah, we usually buy like our meat and stuff. Our lamb we raised last year. We bought our pork. We have a steer that we're buying from a neighbor this year and stuff. So most of it is stuff I already have in the freezer. A lot of times we trade for chicken and fish we trade for. There's some asparagus from our garden, barbecued beans from our own beans. There I made some sourdough bread, which was kind of a fail. It didn't rise like I had wanted it. Some of these things aren't turning out quite how I'd like, because this is kind of a makeshift kitchen. We're kind of camping here at the farm. I don't have a kitchen in the actual house yet. There I made the hamburger buns for hamburgers. So I'm using a gas range that's been converted to propane, and I have it on just like a little propane barbecue tank. And I don't know, it just doesn't get hot enough, and it gets too hot on the bottom, and it's really difficult to use. And I'll be so glad. And there's no sink or running water in there, so all the pots of hot boiling water I have to walk through a room into another room to use, so to get to a sink. So I'm constantly going through doors, and I have to shut doors, otherwise there's flies and bugs, and so I have to make sure the doors are shut. And so it's kind of hard to walk with pots of boiling water and open and shut doors at the same time, and so it makes a hard job even harder. So I will be so glad when we actually have a kitchen inside the house and that has running water. That's like my dream. But so far we're still just living in one room. We're just living in our bedroom that is luckily insulated. We don't have heat in there, but we do have a fireplace. So that's pretty nice. But one of these days we'll get things finished, but we just have so much work on the farm to do first, and for our jobs and stuff, that we just haven't had a chance to do much on the house. So there you can see some banana bread that I made. There was a baked sweet potato. This is a regular baked potato with I think that has asparagus from the garden on it. And so I tried to do a lot of different dishes that I've made. And then I'm going to do another waterfall exactly the same as the first one over here on the right hand side. I'm going to pull in a few more different colors of papers over there. And I'm not going to put any title blocks, so I'm just going to start my waterfall pages right at the top of the page, and then just kind of butt one page right up against the next and go all the way down. And so like I said, that gives me a lot of room. Now these were some tacos I made for Cinco de Mayo, and so I made some tortillas, and then we had some onions and cheese, and I stewed some chicken and used some canned salsa that we had home canned. Now those muffins I actually made from a box. It was so nice to actually use a convenience thing. So that's the only thing I made from a box out of this whole thing. And then let's see, what else do we have here? That was chili up there. This one, I just made a tuna fish sandwich, so You know, there are some simple things in here too. Not everything is a complex item. I made apple pie because I had some frozen pie filling, so I just made the crust. And I milled some soft white for the crust. There we had strawberries in our field, so my husband actually made those, the strawberry daiquiri. There are some goat ribs with a vegetable gravy over a potato. And I'm not the biggest goat fan, you know, so I try to spice it so it doesn't taste like goat, but you know, beggars can't be choosers. There's another potato dish there with sauteed peppers. This one's, that was chicken corn chowder that I just put down. I think there was loaded baked potato soup on the other page I'd made. This one was steelhead with fried potatoes. And I guess that's all I have at the moment. So that gives me room to grow as we go the next month or two into this. And that way I'll have, you know, some of the things I've had to do. It's just been a really involved thing. I don't know about the rest of you. Are you guys doing all your cooking at home? Are you making all your dishes and finding it's turning into a bigger chore than it ever seemed to be in the past? I don't know, we didn't eat out that much, but for some reason it just seems like I'm always cooking. And, you know, it's not my most favorite thing to do, so, but it's necessary. So I try to make it as interesting and engaging as I can so I don't get bored doing it. But yeah, I'll be glad when, you know, we can at least go out here and there and enjoy something out on the town. So there you have it. That is my 2-page spread. And yeah, let me know what you're doing for all of your cooking. I'd really love to hear your comments and talk to you guys. So leave me a comment down below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Talk to you later. Bye.